Radio 2.
We'll be singing something simple in just half an hour from now. But first, Roy Hudd, and They Called Me Al.
Once in khaki suits, why gee we look swell, full of that Yankee doodly down. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell, and I was a kid with a drum. Say, don't you remember, they called me Al. Why, it was Al all the time. Why don't you remember, I'm your pal, buddy. Can you spare a dime?
Hello, folks. Welcome to part 3 of the Al Bowley story. Remember the plot so far? Our hero, from playing semi-pro gigs in South Africa, decides to leave in 1923 to try his luck in London. It's now 1927, and he's still on his way. He's now at the famous Raffles Hotel, Singapore, living the high life with Monialita and the Jimmy LaQuim Orchestra. Now, Al had a love-hate relationship with Edgar Adler, the band leader who discovered him in South Africa. Eddie Adler and Al had played together across East Africa, the Malay States, and India, till Eddie could take no more of Al's fiery temper and right hook, and in Surabaya gave Bowley the boot. They parted, but as so often happens in show business, they were to meet again. Eddie had found his way to Germany. He was trying to get to London too, and was playing piano with a band in Munich. They needed a guitarist and singer, and Adler, like the song says, remembered Al. And what do you know? As Eddie was considering whether to risk more fat lips from Al, a letter arrived from the old troublemaker himself, asking for
just one more chance to prove it you alone I care for. Each night I say a little prayer for just one more chance, just one more night to taste the kisses that enchant me. I'd want no others if you grant me just one more chance. I've learned the meaning of repentance. Now you're the jury at my trial. I know that I should serve my sentence. Still I'm hoping all the while you'll give me just one more word. I said that I was glad to start out, but now I'm back to cry my heart out for just one more chance.
With the letter was a photograph with the non-committal message, to Eddie from Al, 9th of the 4th, 27. Eddie needed no photograph to remind him. Al's picture, to quote Ray Noble's famous song, was always in his head. Al went on to apologise for all the chaos he'd caused his pal and begged for them to be reunited.
Please lend your little air to my please. Lend a ray of cheer to my please. Tell me that you love me too. Oh, please let me hold you tight in my arms. I could find delight in your charms every night my whole life through. Your eyes reveal that you have the soul of an angel white as snow. But how long must I play the role of a gloomy Romeo? Oh, please say you're not intending to tease. Speed the happy ending and please tell me that you love me too.
That did it. Eddie Adler would take a chance. He gave the German band leader the hard sell on Al. He said, yeah. So Eddie wrote back to the penitent with all the walking on eggshells care of one musician recommending another. Eddie spelt out the arrangements. Al was to leave Singapore immediately, giving Adler full details of his travel plans. Surprisingly, Al wrote back, telling Eddie the name of the boat and the steamship company he was travelling with. He would arrive in Marseille. Eddie replied, saying there would be £10 waiting for Al in Marseille, together with full instructions on how to get to Munich. Perfect. The old sparring partners were to be together again.
Was on a steamer coming over. Life began all anew. A perfect sea, a sunny sky, for there was she and there was I. What could we do? I knew I was a lucky rover. Every day our love grew. Our hopes were high, our hearts were free, and she and I were both at sea. What could we do? Sweet romance seemed to fill the air. It caught us unaware. We kissed one night beneath a yellow moon. And right then and there, we started humming a happy wedding tune. 'Twas on a steamer coming over. We both vowed to be true. A perfect sea, a sunny sky, for there was she and there was I. What could we do?
Ray Noble, his orchestra, and Al on a steamer coming over. Al was on his way, and Eddie Adler started to preen himself, knowing his protégé would score heavily in jazz-mad Germany. Came the day of the band's opening at the Regina Pallett Hotel, and no Bowley. Poor old Eddie Adler was left red-faced and fuming at the keyboard. £10 light, and vowing to break Al's neck if he ever clapped eyes on him again, which he very much doubted. But a week later, a bedraggled Bowley presented himself. He'd arrived at Marseille, but someone had lost Adler's letter and the tenor. There he was, penniless, unable to speak French, and with nowhere to go. The South African consul there advanced him his fare to Paris, where he knew somebody. Alas, they didn't want to know him. So what could he do? Shanks his pony. Al told Eddie truthfully he'd hitchhiked from Paris to Munich. For a moment, neither believed the other. And then, inspired by that strange love that only one musician has for another, they embraced. Al had turned up. The band found him a monkey suit, and our skeletal hero went on that night. Weeks later, Adler's letter and the tenor arrived back from Marseille. He opened it in front of Al. More hugs and an agreed verdict.
It's all forgotten now, the trouble and the pain. Forgotten every word I said. Forgotten every tear you shed. We're still in love. It's all forgiven now. We're back in lover's lane. And though we wandered from our way, the corner's turned and we can say we're still in love. For you and I and everybody must learn to give and take. We'll find, like everybody, it's worth it for happiness' sake. It's all forgotten now, we're happy once again. Our troubles gone beyond recall, and making up is best of all. We're still in love.
The German band had finished their contract, so Adler, a band leader born and bred, got together his own group. Edgar Adler and his Hawaiian Quartet. Al played Hawaiian guitar and, of course, crooned. Now, I hate quoting dates. They're a real switch-off for me when I listen to the radio, but here's one I must give you. The 18th of August, 1927. On that day, Eddie and Al went to the Homo Chord recording studios in Berlin and did 2 songs. Eddie played piano, Al played ukulele and sang. As far as we know, these were Al's very first recordings, the first of over 600. And that's a conservative estimate, because in the 30s he recorded under pseudonyms, all of which not even super sleuth Ray Pallett has been able to trace. But this, officially, is his first.
Rosie Riley calls her name right up on the Hall of Fame. And every dance floor she can count was mad about Rosie. The moment she stepped on the floor, it's as plain as it can be. Everyone went crazy, everyone but me. Say, mister, have you met Rosie's sister? She's the one who got it over Rosie. I kissed her, and let me tell you, mister, Rosie's love may be exciting, but her sister's more inviting. Rosie says goodnight at 10 o'clock in the hall, but that is just the time her sister wants you to call. Say, mister, have you met Rosie's sister? She's the one who got it over Rosie. Rosie's got more Romeos than a centipede has toes. I never met a fellow yet who wouldn't fall for Rosie, but there is one who is immune, and I'm the lucky guy. I don't need have to worry, and here's the reason why. She's the one who got it over Rosie. Rosie, I kissed her. And let me tell you, mister, Rosie's love may be alluring, but her sister's more enduring. Rosie's just the kind of girl that some boys admire, but her sister's like a blister burning with fire. Say, mister, have you met Rosie's sister? She's the one who's got it over Rosie.
Al Bowley's very first record, with Edgar Adler on piano and Al on vocal and ukulele, proving, I think, that all the disparaging comments about Al as an instrumentalist are a load of rubbish. Meanwhile, Eddie, still dreaming of playing London, wrote to Cyro's Restaurant, offering his, and especially Al's, services, and heard nothing. He was dead unlucky with his letter writing. Al, meanwhile, was in and out of the recording studios like a fiddler's elbow. He recorded with all sorts of long-forgotten bands with fabulous names like the Salon Symphonic Jazz Band, George K. Hart's New Yorkers Jazz Orchestra, and on the German branch of the HMV label with Arthur Briggs' Savoy Syncopators Orchestra. Al was becoming a recording star. The Homo Chord studio even issued a photograph of their new singing discovery. Now, Edgar Adler at this time was getting busy, searching for a regular berth. Out of the blue, he received the offer of a year's work at Furpo's restaurant in Calcutta. Perhaps you remember Mr. Furpo from our last programme. Eddie happily accepted the job and proudly told Mr. Furpo he'd be bringing the jazz sensation of Germany, Al. Mr. Furpo's reply was short and very unsweet. Don't bring Bowley. Who could blame him after the trail of dented hearts and broken jaws Al had left behind in Calcutta? Eddie had to take the job to keep his band together. So yet again, Al and he said,
Fare thee well, till I can be beside you once again, my love. Fare thee well, and may the angels guide you until then, my love. Remember, parting is such lovely sorrow, for we can dream about a sweeter tomorrow. Fare thee well, and let the love light shine until you're mine. Fare thee well.
Al stayed in Berlin, recording at Home Accord with John Abriani and his orchestra, and with a band led by the governor of Home Accord Records, Felix Tutti Lehman, better known as Fred Bird. Well, he would be, wouldn't he? Another Fred, Fred Rich, arrived from London. Al joined his band at the Winter Garden. Alas, in the middle of the job, Fred flew off to America, leaving his orchestra stranded in Berlin. But again, Al, true to form, got out of trouble. He joined a saxophonist from Britain and became part of Billy Bartholomew's Delphinian's jazz band. It sounds like a strip cartoon out of the Beano, doesn't it? They made records too, and Al was on them, but only one has been traced, and I haven't got it. But now, halfway through 1928, the South African musical mafia comes back into the story. A bloke named Phyllis. No, not that sort of bloke. Phyllis, F-I-L-L-I-S. That was his surname, Len Phyllis. He'd been, with Al, part of Adler's band at the Corner House Tea Rooms back in Johannesburg. Len had done well. He was the first of the Joburg Jazzers to get to London. He not only got there, he had the guitar chair with the hottest combo in town at the poshest venue, Fred Elizalde's band at the Savoy Hotel. Len Phyllis wrote to Al with an idea.
Must you dance every day with the same fortunate man? You have danced with him since the music began. Won't you change partners and dance with me? Must you dance quite so close, with your lips touching his face? Can't you see I'm longing to be in his place? Won't you change partners and dance with me? Ask him to sit this one out, and while you're alone, I'll tell the waiter to tell him he's wanted on the telephone. You've been lost in his arms ever since heaven knows when. Won't you change partners and then you may never want to change partners again.
It was time, Len said, to come to London. Elizalde was looking for a vocalist, and Al was Len's man. Al sent his recording of Muddy Water, and the Spanish toff Elizalde immediately offered him the job at £14 a week. Al, being even more cheeky than usual, and secure in the knowledge he was doing well in the fatherland, thought, what have I got to lose? And asked for 20. Fred Elizalde not only said, see, he sent Al a week's money in advance. Not a wise move.
Oh, we've got the moon and sixpence and dreams to make come true. We've courage to smile at our sorrows, that's riches enough for two. We've bread and cheese and kisses that fall to see us through. A new day is ours tomorrow, that's a fortune for me and you. The rain will fall, but we should care, there's always a shelter near. The rainbow will be ours to share, and skies will be sure to clear. We've got the moon and sixpence, and stars to light the blue. So long as we both have each other, that's more than enough for two.
All his contemporaries have said money meant nothing to Al. Poor old Fred Elizalde's 20 quid didn't. Al himself said he spent a fiver of it entertaining friends and lost the rest on an investment. The horse lost. If Al couldn't give his money away, which he loved doing, he'd lend it. He was a soft touch, and he'd really done it this time. The best job he'd ever had, and his fare there blown. And then Al's luck again. Someone lent him money, and he was on his way. Salute Savoy Hotel. Farewell, Frauleins.
Come, let us stroll down Lover's Lane, once more to sing love's old refrain. Soon we must say, auf Wiedersehen, my dear. Here in your arms I can't remain, so let me kiss you once again. Soon we must say, auf Wiedersehen, my dear. Your love will cling to me through the lonely daytime. Each night will bring to me the magic memory of Maytime. I know my heart won't beat again until the day we meet again. Sweetheart, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, auf Wiedersehen, my dear.
In July 1928, Al presented himself at the Savoy Hotel and was bowled over by Fred Elizalde. Fred, unlike Al, came from entirely the wrong background for a jazz musician. He was the son of a Spanish aristocrat who sent him to America to be educated. He learnt to love jazz. His parents panicked, pulled him out of America and pushed him into somewhere much more suitable, Cambridge University. Fred went, and there he taught the entire place to love jazz. He formed his own band, recorded for HMV in Brunswick, and now found himself holding down the best band job in Britain. Al couldn't believe his luck. He was there too, the West End of London, where every hotel had a name band and where the genuine jazzers could play the real stuff long after the hotel gigs were over, at clubs like the Bag of Nails and the Silver Slipper. He was indeed a happy man.
You and the night and the music fill me with flaming desire, setting my being completely on fire. You and the night and the music thrill me, but will we be one after the night and the music are done? Until the pale light of dawning and daylight, our hearts will be throbbing guitars. Morning may come without warning and take away the stars. If we must live for the moment, love till the moment is through. After the night and the music die, will I have you? The night and the music thrill me, but will we be one after the night and the music are done? Until the pale light of dawning and daylight, our hearts will be throbbing guitars. Morning may come without warning and take away the stars. If we must live live for the moment, love till the moment is through. After the night and the music die, will I have you?
The Ray Noble Orchestra and Al again, You and the Night and the Music. Well, let's leave Al for now, happy in the heart of London. Next week, we'll follow him through the recording studios into a nightclub built by a man who sold shoes, and into another big mistake, one of the shortest and sourest marriages ever. Till then...
Roy Hudd presents part 4 of They Called Me Al after the 4 o'clock news summary next Sunday afternoon. And Roy's to be heard leading the news headlines team of June Whitfield and Chris Emmett on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock.